Adversary music. Human rights that have been severely eroded, highlighting the concrete realities behind each shift. Freedom from surveillance expansion. Key events, 2013 onward. Continued growth of mass surveillance post-Snowden, but largely normalized. 20's expansion of facial recognition and predictive policing tools in major cities. Reality. Surveillance isn't just broad, it's increasingly granular, targeting even everyday movement or digital habits. Privacy is now a conditional luxury. If you don't have the means or anonymity, your daily life is increasingly exposed. Right to privacy in digital space. Key events, 2020. Massive data breaches. Equifax 2017, Facebook 2019 GDP hot in Europe, aimed at reform, but US lacks equivalent. Data isn't just collected, it's sold, repurposed and weaponized against individuals. Even personal conversations, health data and movements are commodified and used to predict or control behavior. Freedom from arbitrary detention. 2018 onward, expansion of ICE, immigration and customs enforcement. Detentions, often without due process. 2020's pre-trial detention spikes, especially after COVID-19. People are held for days, weeks, even months without clear charges. Minor infractions or immigration status can lead to indefinite detention, often far from public view. Right to protest and political dissent. 2010, George Floyd protest met with militarized police response in many cities. 2020 and 2020 global clampdowns on dissent. Protesters face physical violence, mass arrests and legal harassment, often on flimsy charges. Dissent is increasingly suppressed not by banning speech, but by making every act of protest a personal risk to jobs, reputation, and safety. Adversary in 2020. Explosion in mass incarceration, especially for minor drug offense. COVID-19 court closures and backlog increased delays. Poor defendants often plead guilty just to escape indefinite waiting. Justice is no longer about truth, it's about speed and survival inside a collapsing system. Labor protections and worker autonomy. 2010's onward, gig economy expansion. 2020's automation undercuts even stable jobs. Labor protections wither as workers are classified as independent contractors, denying them healthcare, wages, and basic rights. The workplace becomes a gig economy free-for-all. No stability, no security. Freedom from censorship by algorithm. Honeycomb onward, social media platforms expand, but control speech through opaque algorithmic moderation. 2020's rising state pressure to censor misinformation. Not always a government mandate. Private corporations now decide what you see and what voices get drowned out. Entire narratives are erased before they even reach critical mass. Access to adequate housing. 2020 housing prices skyrocket in major cities. 2020-22 eviction spikes during the pandemic, with landlords prioritized over renters. Normalization of preemptive arrest. Taste in 1011, preemptive justice and counterterrorism. Union's onward algorithmic policing. People are flagged, monitored, and sometimes arrested not for what they've done, but for who they might be. Entire communities are treated like potential suspects, leading to disproportionate policing that erodes trust in law enforcement and fractures neighborhoods. Digital hyperdependency as control. Key presence, smartphone proliferation. 2020 social credit models. People are locked into digital ecosystems. Their identity, movement, and even income streams depend on algorithmic approval. If you step out of line financially, socially, or politically, your access to work, mobility, or services can be throttled without recourse. The most sinister reality is that these mechanisms don't announce themselves. They hide in plain sight behind efficiency, market logic, or risk management, making them harder to identify and even harder to resist.